All right, we do have the phones open. I want to get into this this deposition. The full 2.5 hour deposition is online. I'm not getting into. We're going to watch this, and it's going to make your skin fucking crawl to begin with.
How you doing, man? You got some idea on me?
Good morning, gentlemen. God bless our homeless.
Now, I don't know what began with this. So remember, a lot of times, both in body camera and citizen journalist content, they put it up when the incident starts. This video is the product of litigation as a result of civil rights lawsuit. The video and its contents are capable of whatever. Backstory: on May 30th, 2023, I stood on the public sidewalks at the steps of Waveland, Mississippi City Hall while peacefully and politely exercising my free speech right. That peacefully and politely shit is so subjective now. I mean, yeah, you can have Chili DeCastro screaming like a little girl, and that's peacefully and politely, according to liberal leftists who like to burn shit down and say that's peacefully and politely. So, whatever. If you're on a public sidewalk and there's nobody around and you want to dance and sing and do whatever, there's nothing illegal about it. Go right ahead. I hate the disorderly conduct law that a lot of agencies still use. Any conduct of a alarming or disturbing nature, it's like, that's subjective too. You get some guy walking around with a t-shirt that says, you know, go fuck your mother, you can be arrested for disorderly conduct. It's absolutely insane. I hate the disorderly conduct statute. Not long after I started spreading the message of God bless the homeless veterans, Waveland Mayor Jerry Trapani sent his attack dog, Sergeant Joffrion, of the Waveland, Mississippi Police Department to crush our First and Fourth Amendment protected rights. The sergeant's behavior was some of the most egregious, I have ever experienced. As a result of my rights being violated, I filed a lawsuit. So we're going to assume, for the sake of giving you the benefit of the doubt, that what you did was stand on a sidewalk and you were speaking. Let's just say you were speaking loudly. You annoyed a mayor. I don't know if you broke the law, but let's just check that out.
Veterans.
Yep, I'm a vet too, man.
All right, cool.
Air Force.
All right.
You got your ID on you?
What for?
Vagrancy.
Vagrancy?
Yes, sir. So, do you have your ID on you?
Am I required to give you ID?
Yes, you are.
What would happen if I don't give it to you?
You're going to jail. Period.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Sir, I'm standing on a public sidewalk engaged in constitutionally protected
Correct.
activity.
Now, I want to look that up really quickly because I've never enforced, nor do I know vagrancy. I want to look up the definition of that. Vagrancy. Vagrancy as what? Definition is from Oxford English Dictionaries: the state of living as a vagrant, homelessness. What is the crime of vagrancy? Vagrancy laws look at a myriad of forms, generally making a crime to be poor, idle, dissolute, immoral, drunk, lewd, or suspicious. Well, being suspicious isn't a crime. I don't know what the fuck that is. Drunk, that's in public. Disorderly conduct kind of falls underneath that. Immoral, that's subjective. So vagrancy is going to be another one of those crimes like disorderly conduct, which is a catch-all, which is just a way to get people just going to jail because you're annoyed with them. And to be honest, these crimes need to go away. They need to go away, and we need to have citizens be able to punch people in the fucking mouth. That's how this started. So you don't want me, if you don't want me fighting, then you create disorderly conduct, right? Because otherwise, when somebody's annoying and they're doing shit, they're disturbing the public, I'm going to go up, have words with them, pop them in the, sock them right in the jaw, and then the problem's going to be solved. But you don't like that anymore, and you want to arrest people for that, so that's why they create these bullshit laws.
Right. But I'm letting you know you're going to go to jail, no questions asked.
Even if I'm standing on a public sidewalk?
Yes. How many times do I got to explain it to you?
So if I don't give you ID, I'm going to jail?
You're going to jail for failure to identify.
Can I just leave?
I want to hear it again.
If you wish to do so, but I need to identify you.
I don't wish to do so. I'd like to stay here.
But I'm letting you know you're going to go to jail, no questions asked.
Even if I'm standing on a public sidewalk?
Yes. How many times do I got to explain it to you?
So if I don't give you ID, I'm going to jail?
You're going to jail for failure to identify.
Can I just leave?
Well, that would be, in our state, it would be obstruction of justice because you're looking to investigate a crime, and if you have probable cause to link me to that crime, so in this case he's saying it's vagrancy, it's not stop an ID, he has a crime, that's it. So he's stretching the law by the skin of its fucking teeth, and so you got a crime, vagrancy, bullshit. It's probably going to be under a village ordinance or a city ordinance because the state would laugh at that and throw it right the fuck out. So he's going to take that. Now, all of a sudden, give me your ID. Now, the bigger crime is obstruction of justice or failure to ID. So that's where they're going on that one. See how they pile this shit up on you?
Leave.
If you wish to do so, but I need to identify you.
I don't wish to do so. I'd like to stay here and express my.
You're not going to stay here, period.
Why?
I'm going to let you know.
Do I have to leave?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm instructing you. I'm giving you a lawful order to leave.
And if I don't leave,
You're going to jail.
I'll go to jail.
For
And
failure.
you're Officer Sergeant Joffrion.
Sergeant Joffrion, Officer Andrews.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
You got your ID with you?
So if I don't leave, I'll go to jail.
Yep. Give me your ID first.
And if I don't give you ID, I'll go to jail.
Yes.
Even though I've explained to you that I'm engaged in constitutionally protected
I don't
activity,
care if you explain it to me or not.
safeguarded by the First Amendment. It's
Okay.
freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly on a traditional public forum, the steps of City Hall.
Correct.
I'm not begging for
You got
money.
your ID?
I'm not begging for
He disagreed with him that he was engaged in constitutional protected rights. Now, I know that some towns, they have to, I believe they have to have permits in order to assemble, but it's one guy. It's one guy. How do you, some of you want to be this fucking YouTube famous that you're just like, hey, this is how I would solve this problem, right? If I got called out there, I go, hey, and you're going to be on camera, so you can do whatever, right? Because your boss is going to see it. You got to take it's catch-22. Hey, listen, I got called out here. The village hall doesn't want you here. I'm explaining you what needs to be going on. This is it. I agree. You have free. I'm going to cover my ass. You have full free speech. You have full constitutionally protected right to assemble here, protest, do whatever you want. It's great. But I know that there's going to be other people, maybe my superiors are going to be actively looking for crimes that you are breaking. And then you're going to, oh God, they're going to be creating that shit. Oh my God. I just love the days when the cameras weren't on. You go, listen, dude, my boss is a fucking asshole. You could stay, but dude, can you like leave in 10 minutes? Just give it 10 minutes and go? Because there's really nothing you can fucking do. Ah, shit. Some of you have no idea how to behave in the cameras, and you have no idea how to relate to human beings. Where you just go, yeah, you have a constitutionally protected right, because this cop, if he goes back to his mayor, the mayor's so stupid, you go, hey, mayor, that's a constitutionally protected right. Well, this cop's going to be out of a job someday. So to be honest, you have to cover your ass, because if you get fired, then you got a great lawsuit as well, too.
for money.
Okay. You got your ID.
Do I need to show you my ID?
You need to show me your ID. Yes, sir.
Or what?
You're going to jail.
What
Doesn't
is
matter if you commit a crime or not. You have to identify in reference to a complaint because you're violating.
you need to have reasonable
What? We need to back that up again. Remember, this is a sergeant of a police department. Let's listen to him. What he just said again.
or what?
You're going to jail.
All right, listen.
Doesn't matter if you commit a crime or not. You have to identify in reference to a complaint because you're violating.
You need to have reasonable
You're violating what? It doesn't matter if you committed a crime or not. You have to identify yourself when a complaint is filed, because you are violating what? Now, I worked for George Falenko, who was the chief of police for the village of Round Lake Park. And he had a mandate for us, which was get everyone's fucking ID. He loved it. I swear to God, he used to sit there jack off to his database of people that he had. He probably had a file on everybody. We used to go to Flat Tire Call. Okay. Hey, did you ever a genie by chance? And if you didn't get the ID and write a report, you'd get in. Oh, man, why didn't you write a report? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? So I got around it by asking politely, hey, do you have your ID in you by chance? Never demanded. And I would put, I got to document, and I would explain, I got to document you that, I made contact with you today. Could they lawfully refuse? 100%. Did people? 100%. But my chief made us, on every fucking call, identify everyone and run every single person you come in contact with. So we got their ID, we'd call it in over dispatch, go back to our squad cars, type it up. You're looking for a problem. You're actively looking to criminally charge people no matter what. And it's a mindset that needs to change.
typical suspicion that a crime is afoot.
I do have reasonable suspicion. I just instructed you. So,
Vagrancy?
yeah.
What ordinance is that?
City ordinance.
Even though I've explained to you that I'm engaged in constitutionally protected.
You don't need to explain anything to me because I literally don't care. This isn't some free will state, man. This is how it is in the state of Mississippi.
So you don't have freedom in the state of Mississippi?
If you don't like it, you can go back to Florida. Period.
Oh my.
Did you take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution when you served?
My
I absolutely did.
Yeah, you're not doing that right now.
Okay, that's your
Did you
opinion.
take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution when
that
you
is your opinion.
became a cop?
That is your opinion.
Then you're not doing it right now.
That's your opinion.
Central 1114.
He just admitted you don't live in the free state of Mississippi. We down here drinking moonshine, fucking alligator. They have alligators in Mississippi? I really don't know. Fucking the carp that come out of the Mississippi River, making advances on our sisters and all that kind of shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You low IQ graduate. You're in the Air Force. You're an Air Force veteran, the smartest branch of our military, and you are this fucking dumb. You need to be criminally charged. I can't stand cops like this who are probably going to get off with a lawsuit, maybe allowed to resign and go to another department. No, these cops, this is my opinion. This is my active opinion. Pay attention for those of you out there. This is a specific case. If Dominick Izzo had the emperor's staff of the world, this cop just admitted on camera in a public place to willfully violating someone's civil rights. He should be tried federally, and the death penalty should be sought for him. I'm 100% fucking serious. Any cop who swears an oath to the Constitution to uphold the Constitution, your rights, your basic rights, the First Amendment, all the way through every amendment out there, and I can't name them all because I'm not a constitutional scholar, but all of them, right? Your free speech, freedom to assemble, your Fourth Amendment, freedom to move without being searched and seizure. If you have a cop who willingly, knowingly violates your rights, that's domestic terrorism. They need to be put to death if convicted. And I don't see how this is not a 100% slam dunk case of criminal federal charging. This needs to be done. If I had the power to change shit, to dissuade cops from not understanding what the Constitution is, I would put more cops to death who willingly violate our constitutional rights. And I am dead fucking serious.
Go ahead.
10-4, that 27's going to come back to a mortgage. Jeffrey, valid, negative 29, negative 4s.
Come on. All right, Mr. Jeffrey, you're free to go.
Pretty good. Can I
All right.
stay?
No, you cannot stay. You got to go.
So if I don't go, I'll go to jail.
All right. You're a lawful order not to come back.
You ready? Great. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give and the following thoughts to be the truth?
Now, this is part of his deposition, and the deposition is 2.5 hours long. It's available on YouTube. We're going to watch a few minutes of this, and the phones will be open, 708-982-0974. As always, you are welcome to call in and tell me exactly what you think.
Full truth and nothing but the truth.
All right. Sergeant Joffrion, I think you know what we're here about. Have you reviewed the body cam footage that was obtained during your interaction with Mr. Gray?
Yes.
When was the last time that you reviewed that?
Yesterday.
What's your understanding of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution?
I don't recall. I'm not an expert as far as
Do you know what the First Amendment protects at all?
I don't recall.
Do you know what the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution
recall.
protects? Do you
What? Now, I can't get verbatim. I don't have verbatim the language of the First Amendment or the Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment protects you against unlawful search and seizures. First Amendment, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom to assemble. I believe I may be missing something, but if you get the tenets of that, you should 100% know those. I don't recall. And let me tell you something. And it's always I don't recall versus I don't remember. You're not supposed to say as a cop, I don't remember. You're supposed to say, I don't recall. I don't recall. We say it's what we're trained to say.
You know what the Mississippi Constitution provides regarding the right of the people to peaceably assemble and petition the government?
Don't recall.
Do you know what the Constitution of the state of Mississippi provides regarding freedom of speech and the freedom of press?
I don't recall.
Do you know what the Mississippi Constitution provides with regard to deprivation of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
I'm not a lawyer.
I understand that you're a law.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You have to wonder how many of these rat think fucks are on our street as Americans who you understand something. I had an attitude. I had a smarmy attitude and all this shit. And me in depositions, I'm a cocksucker. So I understand how he is. You know, I don't love being in depositions. I don't need to be in another one. But it's like, dude, I'll be an asshole in deposition. So I get the look kind of, he's being sued. I've never been sued in a deposition like this. But my God, have some respect, stoicism, and humility for your job. This begs the question. How many people of their rights has he violated throughout his career to make sergeant? It's not the first time he's done this. He has supreme confidence that he's going to have qualified immunity for this one, and he's probably gotten away with it a shit ton of times.
Enforcement officer, not a lawyer. My question was very simple. Do you know?
I don't recall.
Mr. Gray asked you in this video if you had undertaken an oath to uphold and protect the Constitution of the United States of America, and you responded yes. Do you remember that?
Correct.
And did you also take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the state of Mississippi?
I don't recall.
Yes, I swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States and the state of Illinois. We all do. You all do, because you're a state representative. You're not a federal agent. You're a sergeant. Did you blow some of the command staff? Did you get on your knees and take a few loads like a good old boy down there in order to get your sergeant's promotion passed? How do you not fucking recall? Oh, dear Lord, this entire department needs to be audited.
But you would agree that your oath required you to abide by the Constitution, whatever it may require.
Repeat the question.
You would agree that your oath required you to uphold the Constitution, whatever it may require.
Which oath?
Your oath of office. You took an oath to be a police officer, didn't you?
I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Mr. Gray that you had taken an oath?
I don't recall what a video said.
It's a few minutes into this, and this man needs to go to jail. He needs to go to jail, and the entire history of his criminal arrests needs to be looked into. The government needs to spend money and look into every fucking criminal arrest he has ever done and seen if he doesn't recall, then you better sit there and reverse the decision and expunge and wipe out the criminal history of every single person he's arrested, all the shitheads, if necessary, give some payouts, because how does he not recall swearing an oath, what the Constitution is, what rights he swore to defend, and whether or not a state constitution? I don't recall. You can't be trusted. You can't be trusted. If this man is still on the street, I will say this, and you know what? I get inflammatory a lot because we do have some extreme measures. Here's the danger. This is the danger. If this cop is still on the street and he pulls somebody over today, he is showing in the first 5 minutes of this video, 2.5 were a contact, and then the 2.5 were the deposition where he can't answer basic questions. This man, you're not safe around him. I truly believe this. If you are a citizen in Mississippi and you get pulled over, I think you need to constitutionally exercise the Second Amendment to protect yourself from a very massive potential unlawful seizure from this police officer, because you're being kidnapped. And kidnapped, you're facing an armed kidnapper as a cop. That's threat of violence. That's death or great bodily harm. I literally think that this police officer needs to be shamed, needs to be doxxed, needs to be publicly humiliated, needs to be the fuck out of office. If he's still holding a badge, he needs to be in jail. This is not a sensationalism. This man is a domestic fucking terrorist.
What training did you have regarding law enforcement in the Air Force?
Basic law enforcement.
And what does that include?
Can't think off the top of my head, to be honest with you. Just law enforcement stuff.
When you went to the Law Enforcement Academy, what training did you receive on vagrancy laws,
I can't even remember.
stop and frisk laws?
I never ran over frisk, stop and frisk.
And what training do you remember?
Patting down subjects for weapons. That's it.
That's
That
it.
was it.
Do you remember any training on what was required before you could stop someone and frisk them?
I can't recall, to be honest with you.
Do you recall any training on statutes that were require someone to identify themselves?
I can't recall.
Do you recall any training at the Law Enforcement Academy about First Amendment?
I can't recall.
Do you recall any training about the Fourth Amendment?
I can't.
What are the Waveland Police Department policies on interaction with the public when they are engaged in expressive conduct?
You have to get with them as far as that.
You're a supervisor at the Waveland Police Department, and you don't know the policies on interaction.
Yeah, most of these questions I agree with you. If you asked me what my training on the Fourth Amendment in the Academy was, I don't recall it. I know that we had it, but I can't remember a specific time in the classroom with Professor Zoff when he went, because he taught law. I don't remember it. I remember the blonde instructor. She advocated the book The Gift of Fear. I can see her clear as day. I can't remember her fucking name. I remember Cindy the blonde, Cindy the red, who role played, Doug, who ran the scenario train. I don't remember any specific training, but I know we had it. Clearly, we had Fourth Amendment. Clearly, we went over the Constitution, but I don't remember it. So I get that. But when it comes to this, where he's a supervisor, now it's policy. Yeah, you should know policy. You should know specifics of policy, especially if you've gotten to the point where now you are in charge of other officers on your department.
With the public engaged in expressive conduct.
It's not something I study over. I can't recall.
Who would know the policies of the city of Waveland or the Waveland Police Department with regarding to persons engaged in expressive conduct?
I don't know.
Creatine Connor over on Instagram. What's your name? Can't recall. Guys, just to let you know, if you are watching on Instagram, Instagram limits this. So in about 8 minutes, you're going to be cut. If you want to watch the rest of this, you have to go to YouTube to Cop Talk Live, or Twitter Cop Talk Live, or Facebook Cop Talk Live.
Have you taken, since you completed the Law Enforcement Academy, any continuing education courses?
Yes.
Do you have a list of those?
Dude,
No.
What?
look at this cocksucker. Look at this. This is the problem with law enforcement, and this is it. This is why we have my generation of cops was the last generation of men and women with integrity. Now, that doesn't mean that there are not thousands and hopefully hundreds of thousands of police officers on the street who have integrity, but it means this is what's being highlighted. The days of being able to take your coworker to the side and having a word with them are gone, because you get like ostracization and bullying and policies and whatnot. This sergeant needs to have every patrol officer in his unit, in his station, beat the shit out of him in a sally port, because they are putting he in a position of command as a sergeant is putting their lives in danger. This man needs to be run over by a shit ton of leather boots. Very simply.
What do you recall?
SWAT school.
Anything else?
Can't recall.
Do you have any continuing education courses on the First or Fourth Amendment?
I can't go.
Oh, fuck. Let's see. Yeah, I took a continuing education on the Fourth Amendment, 40 hours in 2014, and it was some of the most stressful training I've ever fucking had. I was taught by a former Secret Service agent on the Jimmy Carter administration. That motherfucker kept us long, an hour every day, including Friday. We got out of there at 6:30, but I was the only one out of a class of near 40, including sergeants and lieutenants, who scored a perfect score on the Fourth Amendment test. How do you not know what your training is? How do you not know? How do you not take pride in your fucking job? When you think about it, man, what we can do, and I say we, I'm no longer a cop, but what we could do as cops is insane. You literally, the people bend to your will when you tell them what to do. You can stop somebody for jaywalking, the stupidest crime on the planet, and articulate, and even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's no cars coming by, you could say, subject improperly crossed the street, not in the crosswalk against the light. And it could lead all the way to you as a cop shooting and killing that subject. If the subject doesn't resists and doesn't comply, and you can articulate it, and I'm in fear for my safety, you have a license to kidnap and kill people. Well, it's not a license, it's a certification. You have a certification to kidnap and kill people every day of the week, as long as you can articulate it and back case law up to it, and then sprinkle in your perception, right? Because this big bag fucking noodle arm sack of vagina shit could one day all of a sudden, I was in fear for my safety, and pump 15 rounds into somebody just because he can. You need to take this job more seriously. You need to see this as a profession, and you're not doing it. So many out there not doing it. This cop needs to be in jail.
You said that you watched the body cam footage yesterday. Having reviewed that within the last 24 hours, is there anything that you thought you could have done better?
I could have handled it a little different.
How?
Could have reworded some things.
What things?
I can't recall off the top of my head.
You just saw.
Do you need to
Holy
watch the
shit!
video?
You watched your body camera footage. Is this how you testify in court? You rewatch your body camera footage from a DUI officer. So and so. How would you have handled it? I can't recall. When did you watch your body camera footage yesterday? The amount of evidence and information this man is giving, that he's unqualified. He is ill qualified to be entrusted to keep the peace and maintain order in a free society by serving the citizens, is all on camera. Take his badge. Criminally charge him on a federal fucking level for willfully violating someone's civil rights. It's as simple as that. We need to throw the Department of Justice at this guy and set an example. Because if you're not going to fucking recall shit, well, you can spend a lot of time in prison thinking about it.
Again?
No, I don't.
So if your testimony is that you could have reworded some things, but you don't know what things,
I know what things.
what things?
What things?
Just handled it better. Talked a little different.
How?
I don't know. I'm not in those shoes right now.
Well, part of this is we have the benefit of hindsight. We also have the benefit of having reviewed what happened. I don't know how many times you've watched the video, at least once. But other than rewording some things, and you can't say which things, you can't tell me anything that you would have done differently or done better.
Same objection.
This is
Well, I
what
have to think on that.
this is where protesting needs to be done. I am committed to this. I am going to contact and demand a statement from the chief of police and the mayor of this city. I will get on that tomorrow. And I think everyone who is in this town needs to protest, absolutely swamp lawfully, legally, the city hall until this man is removed from office. And then it, like an albatross across his neck, it needs to follow him around so he is never able to hold a position in law enforcement again. This man is a domestic terrorist. He needs to be immediately removed from office and criminally charged on a federal level.
Well, how can you say that there are things you would have done, but I can't answer the question as to what they would have been?
I just know I could have handled it better, but it will give me time to think on it.
All right. So, did you make any mistakes?
No.
Tell me what the elements of vagrancy are.
Oh, God, here we go. I can't recall. I can't recall.
I can't think of all the
How the fuck can you charge someone a crime when you don't know what the elements of the offense is? Can you tell me what the elements of a DUI is? I can't recall. I think the subject has to walk down the street while spinning dishes on those big poles in a circular lever and then balance a bowling pin on his nose. Yeah, are you fucking serious? Wow.
in my head right now. I'm not.
Tell me what you recall. Tell me what you recall are the elements of the crime of vagrancy.
I can't recall. I don't know the laws by heart. I just know what certain crimes are. I'm not a lawyer.
Wow.
So what is the crime of vagrancy?
Wow.
I can't say it verbatim. Give you.
I'm not asking verbatim. I'm asking you to tell me. You said you just know what the laws are. What is the crime of vagrancy?
Can't answer that right now on top of my head.
Well, you accused Mr. Gray of vagrancy.
Give one
the
element.
moment you stepped out of your cruiser.
One element of vagrancy, according to what I read online, it would be homelessness. So that doesn't apply. We saw it was intoxication, public drunkenness, acting suspicious, any of those elements. And how you word it is important. I don't have verbatim the statute or the city ordinance of it, but elements of it applies are walking around chewing gum, flapping your arms like a chicken while sticking branches up your ass. Something that can connect the elements of the crime for what you're arrested. This is incredible.
What were you accusing him of doing?
Harassing customers.
So is vagrancy harassing?
I didn't mention that to him.
I didn't ask that. Wow. Is vagrancy harassing? Is that what you think the crime of vagrancy is? So what is the crime of vagrancy?
So the read technique, which I never took any read classes and it was created out here in Chicago, I believe. And I think it's a load of bullshit. Well, if you look up and to the right while you're answering a question, you're trying to manufacture a fucking answer. If you sit back with your arms folded, his body position covering his face like this, he's trying to hide. He's not confident in what he's saying, and he knows he's full of shit. So doing this with the fingers back, he's trying to hide from the council.
I can't think of it off the top of my head right now.
You don't know what the crime of vagrancy is.
If I had that statute in front of me, I could then tell you.
Are you aware that the statute had been repealed 5 years before you accused Mr. Gray of vagrancy? All right, so how did he commit the crime of vagrancy? How could he possibly have committed a crime that had been repealed?
Do we legitimately have to watch this? I mean, literally, he just acknowledged that he knew that the crime was eliminated from their ability to enforce 5 years ago. And yes. This is insane. There's 2 hours of this, and this piece of shit is still employed. This is insane. This is insane. How our federal government is not involved in this is unbelievable. You Department of Justice, useless fucks, will go ahead and you'll look for people back who did a massive protest over in our nation's capital a couple years ago, and you'll hunt them to this day, but you won't actively go after shitbag criminal terrorist cops. The fuck is wrong with you? This man is a danger to society. And yes, if I'm inflammatory in my words, they need to be. What is it? You're going to have this man murder someone, and then you're going to defend him. He's going to come up, pump 15 rounds into somebody and then not be able to explain why he did it, and it's going to be, let's promote him to lieutenant next. This man is a danger to every single citizen in the city, county, and state and fucking nation that he's in. He is this is one of the most dangerous police officers in the nation, and he needs to be immediately removed, fired, and criminally charged. It needs to be done.
5 years ago that you can't even define.
I didn't arrest him or identify him off of vagrancy.
Holy fuck.
Do we need to watch the video?
If you want to watch it, you can. I'm not.
Well, let's watch the beginning of the video. Up to this point that we're talking about with vagrancy.
This is insane.
That was you speaking, correct?
Correct.
And he asked you why you needed to see identification, and you said vagrancy.
Okay.
All right. So what is vagrancy?
I'm not a lawyer.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're live. Save me with some sanity. Please tell me you have something that's going to make sense of this deposition.
I can't make sense of something that doesn't make sense at all, sir.
I am beyond fucking floored. I'm reading the comments on the live feed, and people are saying he is still employed. And this video is the incident was 2 years ago.
I'm familiar with Jeff Gray's work, and I watched this shortly after he posted it 2 years ago. And if you notice, he says, yeah, that's great, man. I'm a vet too. I'm Air Force. And I'm a naval veteran. And and my family is all military vets. I'm beyond for generations. This absolutely is disturbing and disgusting that now he's a cop with an oath. And prior to that, he took an oath not to just support the Constitution, but to defend it from everything foreign and domestic. He is completely what we need to defend the Constitution against. He's violated his oath twice now.
This is a domestic terrorist.
Factors.
This is a domestic terrorist.
I completely agree.
Unfucking believable.
This man, I completely agree with everything you're fucking saying about Code Red. He needs to be.
Dude, how do you get pulled over on a traffic stop by this cop? This is my thing, and I'm trying not to be like the next Liver King that gets fucking arrested for saying shit. So I want to be this very carefully, and I want to pose a question. And I'm not calling for this. I'm being very pragmatic about this. If you know, if he's still active and he's still on patrol, and he's a sergeant, and he gets away with this, how is any human being safe with him alone on a traffic stop? They're not. So if you get pulled over, how do you know that A, it's for a lawful reason? And then if it's not for a lawful reason and you're going to sue because we all say don't fight in the street, fight in court, but it's going to turn out like this and nothing's going to happen. So we're just going to brush off, well, your constitutional rights got violated. It is what it is. We'll give him a slap on the wrist and send him to retraining school. How are American citizens, and I'm asking this so respectfully, I'll ask you this question and maybe you can help, and I want to be very careful by it. How are cops like this not terrified that more American citizens are going to step up and exercise their Second Amendment to protect themselves from domestic terrorists kidnapping and taking their lives?
am in agreement with what you're saying. I would be in fear for my life.
100%.
And with somebody acting the way he is, would make me really think I need to use my Second Amendment right to protect myself. And God forbid that I have my family in the vehicle with me in my truck. I'm definitely going to be thinking about it instantly. Where is my sidearm? Can I outshoot him? And can I protect my family from being shot at because this guy is completely unstable.
It's a fucking joke that we even need to speak about this, but this man openly acknowledged that he was unlawfully trying to enforce laws that do not exist when he doesn't even know what his job or oath is. This is a man who is armed, dangerous, and is a terrorist on the street. I cannot speak severely enough about how this man needs to be immediately removed from office and criminally charged. Immediately.
Section 242, USC 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. And I can go through USC 18 and through 42 and USC 15 and talk about how he's violated his oath of office because he works for an agency of the United States, and he's committing perjury right now. He is completely obstructing justice because he knows what he's doing. He's probably been advised by counsel to be sane and responding this way during depositions. So, yes, in the civil matter, when it comes to suing him, there's the 1983 and 1985 way to go about it. But right there, right now.
Dude, let me ask you a question. And I'm only asking this for conversation's sake. Is that enough? Because now I don't know about you. I don't have the money for some kind of lawyer who's going to really take a case to sue a department on a civil rights violation. I don't have the time. If the normal average citizen doesn't have the time to or the money to pay for the admin fees to get their car out of tow, if it's towed, the tow fees, the criminal defense of whatever they're unlawfully charged with in the first place, where it's a fucking joke. How what we do is we just say, we'll fight it in court. Fight it in court. Most citizens don't have the money, the time, or the resources to take a lawsuit as far as necessary in order to punish or hold accountable the unlawful cop who did the job in the first place. It's a fucking joke to them. They know that they're covered by the citizens, the cities.
Exactly, and it's not even them who pay for it. It's the city, the taxpayers who pay for it.
Yes.
And then their liability insurance that they carry. That insurance company pays that off. It never really pans out. Nobody ever learns anything. I've called him before. I've talked to you, and I've mentioned Matt Thornton. He says the same thing. This is 2025. We would think we should have less of these videos, and it's every day. It's more and more and more.
It's insane. I do not get how these cops do not understand. Oh, look, somebody's filming. Awesome. Let them be. Let them go. Do not even approach them. I mean, so what's going to happen? There's going to be 1,000 First Amendment auditors, and then there's going to be one out of there. One who actually does something stupid and causes a big problem. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not about to violate the other 999 guys who are doing it. Their rights and making myself look stupid online. I appreciate you. This is huge. I am mind blown, absolutely mind blown by this deposition.
I am too. And let me tell you this. I'm not advocating just like you be beating his ass, but right. I agree he needs it.
Oh, he needs it. He needs the shit kicked out of him. Yes, he does.
Somebody needs to say, I will take you, and if you will accept my challenge in a sanctioned fight in a ring, put your money where your mouth is. You seem like a healthy boy. Meet me in a ring, and then really show me what you're about.
I disagree, and this is why I'm careful. And I need to make this statement. When you have like they have aggravated factors for crimes, right? So like if I touch in Illinois, if I touch you, if I'm talking to you and I poke you in the chest angrily, that's battery, right? That's bad. Right. It's any contact, any physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature. If I poke you in the chest with like a wrench or a pipe, well, based on the weapon I'm using, it could go to aggravated. Well, if I poke a cop in the chest, it's aggravated battery to a police officer or battery to a police officer, right? So, but if we look at the criminal aspects of it as well too, if you have a minor. An adult commits a crime against a minor, it's going to be one thing. But if you take that and that adult is in a position of authority, a teacher, a priest, a fucking cop, that's an aggravating circumstance. So that being said, it worsens it. If you have a cop who their job is to protect and to serve, and that cop knowingly, unlawfully, willingly violates your rights as a human, your God-given fucking rights. I'm not saying, no, cop steals your pen on a traffic stop, which I think is abhorrent. Cop steals your lunch money. The cop oppressed you in a way that the government has absolutely no right to. I think that needs to be a death penalty case. There's no, if you know I have all the power in the world to take away someone's freedom, to take away somebody's life if lawfully necessary, but I'm going to use my authority to do it unlawfully, you deserve the death penalty. I cannot get any more clear than that. It has to be that way.
Danawal Downing, who's actually got a case in the Supreme Court, I don't know if you heard about his freedom tour, but he's talking about how the lower tribunals and all the courts are acting unconstitutionally, especially in states where they don't file by grand jury or indictment. They do it by information. So he has said the same thing. If you, by the federal statutes, if you deprive somebody of their rights and you've committed kidnapping, the penalty can be up to life in prison or the death penalty.
It needs to be. There. It needs to be. It needs to be an example set. So you have cops walking on eggshells going, man, the next time I am called into a deposition, I don't recall. I know my fucking job. I appreciate you. I really appreciate your call and your time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, let's take another call here. 605 calling you. This is insane. I am absolutely blown away by this.
Mr. Izzo.
Yeah, you're live. What are your thoughts? What's going on?
I've been watching this one, the one you're talking about now. I've been watching it for a while from Sean, and this is crazy. I mean, I don't understand why police officers are not getting charged with stuff that, criminal crimes they're actually doing. I don't understand why they're not getting charged.
I never understood why when a cop gets a DUI, it's not an aggravated circumstance. Or when a cop steals, it's not an aggravated circumstance. Cop commits domestic battery, why isn't it aggravated circumstance? I never understood that. It needs to be. But this civil rights violation, I'm not fucking joking. It's like
this one is crazy. I can't believe he's not in jail yet.
It's insane. I really can't. Yes, this is insane. I've got about 5 more minutes in me to watch this. This is only 7 minutes into his deposition, and it's 2.5 hours long, and I'm already just I'm beyond blown away. My mind is fucking melting over this.
Yeah, I was watching it with Long Island Audit earlier today, and I'm like, this guy is just an idiot. You can't recall what your classes were. You can't recall what you learned. You can't recall this. Well, you don't need to be an officer. I'm sorry, but if you can't recall, then obviously you can't recall your birthday, and you need to go home.
This needs to be the federal government needs to step in, and they need to criminally charge this piece of shit. Very simple.
I wish they would. I mean, I'm getting tired of, cops doing this. Oh, I can't recall. They get off on this stuff.
Our government, our district and state's attorneys, how do they not see? And I know it's federal. I get that. But don't they have an obligation, if you're a state's attorney or you're a district attorney, to contact the federal government or the attorney general of your state and say that he violated the state constitution and start there?
Well, that's, my whole thought is that too. I mean, it's got to start somewhere, and no one's doing anything about it, and it's got to come out like people always say.
Cops can sit there. If you fucking forget on a basket of groceries, if you forget to pay for a gallon of milk, those cops will get a warrant for you and hunt you down, kick your door in, and arrest you, but they get away with literal kidnapping and murder, and nothing ever fucking happens.
Exactly. And it's got to change in the state. It's got to change at the local level. It's got to change in the state, and it's got to change in the feds, and it's got to stop, because what's going to happen is people are going to get pissed off, and then there's going to be more shootings of cops. And they don't understand this.
You know, if we had during the lockdown, we had cops who were ripping people out of churches, gyms, open beaches in California, and they proved they're not on the side of the citizens. And it really shits on the good cops, like I highlighted earlier in the show. It blows me away.
Yeah, that was a good cop.
This man's coworkers should be pressing their county government to arrest him. They should. I don't care. They should be protesting. Every single cop who is in this department should be protesting and refusing to work or back up this officer.
I believe that every good cop should stand up and, you know what, if it costs me my job, so be it. But here's what, I'm done with this stuff. You're not doing this. It's not right.
No, they need to act more. They need to exercise their powers. If they can, if a cop can go to the district or state attorney and get a warrant for a case, then somebody needs to open up a case in this department on this cop, go to the state district attorney and start some fucking problem. It needs to make the news that you had officer so-and-so of this department willingly tried to get a warrant for this cop's arrest.
It does need to make the news. And the more we get it out there, the more chance we're going to have to try to get this stuff to stop. Because, you know, we're all tired of it. And we watch it all the time. We hear it all the time. Some of us live it all the time. And it's just not working. This authority that they think that they have over everybody is not their authority. They are there to keep to enforce the laws. Like you say, enforce the laws. And that's their job. That's it. And
this is one of the worst things I have ever seen. I've never seen this before, and this is insane how this cop is so stupid. He admits to going and unlawfully enforcing a law that was eradicated 5 years prior. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and not only that, but he can't recall anything else, but he can recall that.
On the stop. He flat out, he acknowledged, I don't care about your constitutional rights, and he acknowledged violating them.
Exactly. And that's what's happening all over everywhere. And it's like, well, now, you know, it's not so much that the insurance companies are paying for this stuff too, but our citizens are paying for it too. And it's like, it's got to stop. This stuff is ridiculous. It is crazy, ridiculous. Cops like this need to be put in jail. And I don't want to go as far as you said when you put them down, but, you know, they need to be put in jail and see what
I get it. I get it. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. But here's my point. And this is something that's horrible. You look at the movies that are out there. Like, I can't remember. Netflix had some movie where Don Johnson played chief of police, and there was some black, like, special forces guy that was going through his town, and they were fucking with him left and right and oppressing him until the guy took the matters into his own hands. And my point is, this is, you know, it's entertainment, and we watch it online and we see this, but at what point? No, I get it, but it happens every single day. When you're unlawfully seized on a traffic stop for a cop that says, I didn't see you wearing a belt, but they were wearing a belt, and you know you can't do shit to retaliate because we have cops that'll fucking write you 20 tickets because of your attitude. They'll arrest you because of your attitude. I just watched Grady Judd talking about some Chicago cop that his department arrested, his county arrested, that if he was just nicer, it would have gone a lot differently. So you have cops who are out there saying, suck my dick and worship me, or we will ruin your life. I do not know any other way other than these cops' lives need to be ruined in order to set this whole thing straight.
It does. I mean, it's got to happen because, you know, every time that, you know, we get pulled over, you know, it's like we're under their control, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, this is not, as everyone says, Nazi Germany or Russia or anything else. Show me your papers. This is America. No, give me something that is real. Because I'm sorry, I will run from you. I can't outrun. I won't actually run because I can't outrun the radio. But nonetheless, I mean, it's ridiculous. I will stand up for myself. I will defend myself if I have to. And And
it's beyond insane, and I'm so disgusted and heartbroken with how things are going right now with law enforcement and the fact that this is still happening.
I am too. I mean, my grandfather taught me different. My grandfather was a good cop. My grandfather and my father, my father was kind of a butthead, but he was still a good cop. He wasn't, a jerk. But, I mean, it's just something that I grew up on, and it's like, I see this stuff now, and it's like, this is crazy. I don't understand.
It's insane. It's insane. I gotta take another call. I appreciate you chiming in and giving me your thoughts. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Still
Good.
taking call-ins?
Yeah, of course. What do you got?
Yeah, so Brad Shower, been watching your stuff for a while. Been watching Jeff Gray for the longest time, and obviously, this guy's got a pretty good lawyer by just telling him it's like almost a new plead the fifth. It's like, I don't recall. And I don't know if this comes down to the level in Mississippi of how much they're paying these guys, how the quality of officers that they can employ, to allow for these people to just continue to exist. So that's just my only comment.
I can't recall, but I know that in our departments, I don't remember what it's called. Shit. Garrity? I believe that might be it. Let me look at this, because I think it's going to be the difference between police officers being read Miranda rights versus Garrity. Let me look at this really quickly, because this has a parallel to what you're talking about. Police Garrity. Police Garrity rights. Garrity rights, stemming from the 1967 Supreme Court case of Garrity versus New Jersey, protect public employees, including police officers, from being compelled to incriminate themselves during internal investigations. So you have Garrity. These rights ensure that statements made under the threat of loss of job cannot be used against them in criminal proceedings. The core principle is that the employees should not have to choose between their Fifth Amendment right and self-incrimination of their employment. There's a part of me that disagrees with that, specifically in a case like this, or when you can't show competence for doing your job. So I don't understand why are they allowed? You're compelled. I know in internal investigations you are compelled to, like, you can't.
Yeah, but the case here, it shows that this is for, Jeff Gray's lawsuit, which is completely different than an internal investigation.
He should not be allowed to.
But as far as the law goes, I don't think the internal investigations would be able to use this deposition in a lawsuit against him. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that I think that's the way the law is, that I guess helps the smugness of the interview, which is outraging us all.
It's insane. So. It shows that this is proof that he does not know his job, that he needs to be fired. This is gross negligence. This is ineptitude. I don't know what else is. He is not qualified to be a cop. He has violated. There's 100% chance he has violated people's civil rights multiple times, and he needs to be in jail.
Absolutely.
I
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You got it. Guys, I'm going to watch a few more minutes of this, and I'm fucking done. This is beyond disgusting.
But you are a law enforcement officer that was dispatched by Chief Investigator Hersey for harassing and peeping through windows.
Correct.
And not the first, but near the first word out of your mouth is vagrancy, which we've already established is a crime that was repealed 5 years earlier.
Correct.
So I'm trying to understand, Mr. Joffrion, why you approached Mr. Gray, who's standing there holding a sign, and accused him of vagrancy.
How did I accuse him of it?
He asked why you would need identification, and you...
Then they just lied. I'm going to arrest you for vagrancy, which means that you observed him being vagrant. So you just lied. This entire police department needs to be taken over by county. their chief, their mayor, everybody needs to be gone.
You responded vagrancy. Do we need to play this again?
You can play it.
Do you need to see it again to know that that's what
I
happened?
don't need to say anything.
So you did accuse him of vagrancy.
I didn't accuse him of vagrancy.
So why did you, why would you say the word vagrancy?
I don't know.
Holy fuck.
Well, who would know?
Can't answer that.
Then you respond that you had received several complaints that Mr. Gray was begging for food, money, stuff like that. And you had not personally observed Mr. Gray begging for food, money, or anything of the sort, had you?
Negative.
Who had you received a complaint from that he was begging for food, money, and stuff like that?
That would be, I don't know.
Well, you said you got several complaints that he was begging, but you don't know who any of the several complaints are.
I didn't receive any complaints that he was begging for money.
Where did you get the information? I'm sorry. Where did you get the information that there had been several complaints that he was begging for food, money, and stuff like that?
Top of my head.
So you hadn't received several complaints.
I have received several complaints.
Then
that
who
he was
made?
harassing people.
But that's not what we're talking about, not harassing. You said several complaints, begging for food.
Hey, just in case anybody wonders, I'm going to make this available. This is the phone number. Let me pull this up really quickly. Do I have this? Let's switch camera views so I can get this even better for you guys. This is apparently the Mike Prendergrass, chief of police for wavelandpolicedepartment.com. It looks like it's a 228 area code. Number is 228-467-3669. That's 467-3669 of an area code of 228 with an email at mikeP@waveland-ms.gov. I want to see Waveland Police Department. Waveland. Guys, I am encouraging every one of you to call in Mississippi Police Department. Hoping to God that was the right number. Let's see. Departments, building, police. Here you go. Here's Chief Mike Prendergrass. There you go. 228-467-3669. 228-467-3669. Mike P. at waveland-ms.gov. Flood the living hell out of his voicemail and his emails demanding the immediate termination and criminal investigation of this police officer. Yeah, this is incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm blown away, absolutely blown away. Let's continue a few more minutes.
Food, money, stuff like that. Who were the several complainants?
Who knows? I don't know.
So what was your basis of your statement that there were several complaints? He was begging for food, money, and stuff like that.
Harassing customers.
What customers?
I'm not sure.
So you said to Mr. Gray that you had received several complaints that he was begging for food, money, stuff like that, and he responded, that's not true. And you said, well, I'm just out here for that reason, and again asked for identification.
Mm-hmm.
I need a yes.
Yes.
All right. And he asked you whether he was required to provide identification, and you responded that he was. And he asked, if I don't, what will happen? And you said, you're going to jail, period. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
All right. So what were you going to take Mr. Gray to jail for if he did not provide you identification?
Failure to comply
Failure to comply is not a crime.
What?
To what?
with the lawful order.
What's the
And what
lawful
was
order
the
for
lawful
what?
order?
Identification.
Identification for what?
Under what circumstances are you entitled to demand identification from a person?
Reasonable suspicion that a crime occurred.
All right. And what reasonable suspicion did you have that he had committed a crime?
Harassing customers.
But you didn't say, you said
Tinting
vagrancy.
windows. Repeatedly asking people for money.
All right. But you just told me that you're not aware of one single.
Asking people for money is not a crime. Harassment is a perception. Hey, do you have $5 I can borrow? That's not harassing. That's not harassing. It's perception. Your reasonable suspicion is a limp dick. If you don't have probable cause, you fucking violated his civil rights.
Person.
I don't know their names.
Oh my God.
Well, who did you speak to? Where did you interact with these persons?
Beforehand, I didn't.
Then you said you're going to jail for failure to identify. What ordinance or state code section is the crime of failure to identify?
There isn't one.
Right. Why would you say that you're going to jail for failure to identify?
Who knows? Oh no.
What? Are you kidding me?
Well,
Listen, this is insane. This is unbelievable.
Right. Why would you say that you're going to jail for failure to identify?
who knows? Oh no.
Why would you say you're going to jail for failure to identify? Who knows? I don't know. I'm done. I'm done. This is incredible. This happens every day in America. This man was taught this by other police officers who taught him. This is not something that is just some isolated incident. This is domestic terrorism at the most basic, blunt level. This man needs to be removed, needs to be in federal prison. If I had my way, the death penalty would be sought because he willingly violates your God-given constitutional rights. 100%. You guys have the phone number for the chief here. Let me pull this back up. I'm sure that many people have tried to contact him over the last several years. Do it again. I'm going to be reaching out. This is Mike Prendergrass, Chief of Police, 228-467-3669, 228-467-3669. Mike P. at waveland-ms.gov. Flood the shit out of his office with emails and calls. I want to look at, we do one more. We're going to look at the mayor. Here, the mayor and the board of trustees. This is waveland.ms.gov. This is here's their phone number, 228-467-4134. I'll take a page out of the liberal Democrats' playbooks. These people should not feel welcome in any restaurant or public setting at all. They should be confronted in a First Amendment way that you as a voter demand they work for you. They should be properly and professionally confronted with how they operate and allow this to continue in their city as government employees, and they should be held accountable. This is unbelievable. Here's Jimmy Clark, 4th Ward Alderman, Shane LaFonte, 3rd Ward, Mayor Jay Trapani in the middle, Rhonda Amy Gamble, for the 1st Ward, and Bobby Richard in the 2nd Ward, an alderman. Every one of these needs to be demanded accountability. The Village Hall, 228-467-4134. Here's their Facebook. 100% demanding accountability. Yeah, and look, they shut their comments on stuff off. You cannot comment for anything because they've probably been 100% flooded with shit. This is insane. I am disgusted. I am heartbroken. I am unbelievably nauseated that this pig shit of a human being even remotely is allowed to represent the integrity of law enforcement. And any cop, if this man is an FTO right now and you are in the academy, you need to steer clear of this disgusting, fucking worthless human being. You need to avoid him. If you're a citizen and you are pulled over and you recognize him, you immediately get on dispatch and claim you are terrified for your safety. Call 911. I am terrified for my safety. I need another unit here. Send a county fucking cop. I will comply with anything, but I do not trust this police officer. I am terrified for my safety. No cop should even remotely interact with this man. This man needs to be publicly shamed. He needs to 100% be exposed for the terrorist he is, and he needs to be removed from law enforcement and federally criminal charged. I am so dead serious about this. This is fucking nauseating. I'm blown away. We do this live every Wednesday night. I appreciate those who've called in. Remember to go to Cop Talk Live. This is the thing what we're trying to do, right? CopTalkLive.org. Patreon. Cop Talk Live. This is exactly the purpose. Every first Thursday of the month, starting in July, we're doing town halls to talk about this. We're going to be having people coming on who are professions in this industry, the profession of law enforcement, people who are critical of law enforcement, constitutional authorities, to come together to try to eradicate this. I don't know. Maybe a massive protest needs to be organized to stand outside of the city hall and shame and publicly cry out the shit for this man to be removed. Maybe their county, a sheriff needs to step up and arrest this cop. Needs to happen. But this is why we're doing the first Thursday of the month town halls and the Sunday roll calls starting in July. Patreon, Cop Talk Live. Make sure you become a member because you have far more insight than I do when it comes to the way that we take care of this and we do this together, and we need to make this change. Cops like this need to be held accountable. Period. Because they are destroying the profession, and they're making all the good ones out there who 100% deserve our respect, our support. They're making it completely horrible for them. It's as simple as that. Cop Talk Live on all your favorite social media platforms. Subscribe. Be safe out there, guys, and I will see you on the next episode.